Hey, it's Alexander Creek, astrologer and psychic medium, aka Dark Star Oracle. Welcome to the new moon in Pisces video slash podcast episode. We're going to be talking about the astrology of the new moon in Pisces with the doing mini readings for each of the 12 rising signs. So thanks for joining me here. This is a pretty good new moon as new moons go. We have some pretty positive astrology going on with it. It's very much cosmic green light, new beginning, stepping into something new kind of energy, and also marks the end of a very chaotic eclipse season. We had a solar eclipse in Aquarius on the 17th that was connected to the Saturn-Neptune conjunction, which is, again, very era-defining astrology that is still playing out. We haven't seen the full effects of that yet, and we really won't for quite a long time, but we're starting to see it. So a lot of secrets being exposed right now, but also things being concealed. And also those eclipse cycles too were connected to eclipses are often connected to like the deaths or fall or rise of world leaders, and which is connected to, for example, the Iranian prime minister. I'm not sure what it's called, but he was actually installed in the last Saturn Neptune conjunction in 1989 and was killed during this current Saturn Neptune conjunction, also connected to an eclipse. So I think there's still more stuff with Trump and Netanyahu to come this year. Some stuff with Netanyahu is going on already. So that's still playing out. So this new moon is connected to a kind of marking the end of this kind of chaotic eclipse period. And also, we had Mercury retrograde during that as well, kind of adding to this hectic, kind of chaotic energy. Mercury is going to be going direct 2 days after this new moon in Pisces. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. I did want to mention two things really quick. If you are still with me, I am teaching a class. It's called Turn On Your Psychic Sight and Open to Spirit. It's an online class via Zoom. I'm teaching that Saturday, March 21st, 12:15 p.m. Mountain Time. If you want to take the class or if you're interested in it, but you cannot make it live, register anyway. You will get a link with a video that you can listen to after the class is done. And you'll also be getting a guided meditation to continue doing these meditations outside of class as well. So that's going to be I'm really excited for that. That's $37. You can register on my website, dogsororacle.com, or find the link in the comments on YouTube or in the show notes. But the easiest way, dogsororacle.com. It's going to be right there. Also, lastly, I'm going to be doing a new moon circle, and that's going to be starting in April with the new moon in Aries. I don't have an exact date for that yet, but that is going to be every month. We're going to meet around the new moon. We're going to connect to the energy, talk about the astrology, do a little guided meditation as well to align with the energy, but also you'll get to talk to me directly about how that impacts your chart and how to work with the energy every single month. You're going to learn about the new moon in a more detailed way. You're going to learn the astrology in a more personalized way and learn about astrology and your chart as we go. That's going to be $22 per month. Anyway, enough business talk. Let's get to talking about this new moon. All right. Okay. New moon in Pisces. This new moon is happening about 28 degrees of Pisces, which is near the end of the sign, which is just a couple days before the sun's ingress into Aries, marking spring, marking this sort of the astrological new year. So, in some ways, this is about endings because we're kind of closing out a chapter, but the astrology is really kind of screaming beginnings. One thing with this new moon at 28 degrees of Pisces is the fact that Saturn is no longer there. Saturn and Neptune have both left Pisces. So the influence of like Saturn and the outer planets on this energy is gone. So in some ways, this is kind of a very pure expression of Pisces energy. So this new moon is an invitation to connect to your intuition, to spirituality, to creativity, to like this kind of liminal space that sort of Pisces is about. But I feel like this new moon is very much kind of boldly going somewhere, and its connection to faith. And that is because the ruler Jupiter, so Jupiter is a planet that rules Pisces. Jupiter is newly direct, and I think has been direct for about a week, if I remember correctly. And, so Jupiter is a planet of expansion, of faith, of optimism, of like blessings, essentially. And Jupiter is really able to do its Jupiter thing to bring big blessings, to tend to long-term success in the sign of Cancer because it is exalted in Cancer. It thinks big in Cancer, and especially when you are like tending to something over and over, when you are thinking about long-term bounty, long-term success. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube and you see some cats running around, those are my kitties. So hopefully they're going to be quiet during this video. I gotta talk, guys. You gotta go away. I love you. Love you. Anyway, so Jupiter, any planet that is stationing direct in this case or retrograde is going to pull a lot of focus, and the astrology around that is very significant and very loud. So Jupiter stationing direct is like it's been retrograde since November. So it's been kind of Jupiter stuff has been on the back burner, Jupiter kind of moving through your chart is sort of where we can expect some expansion, where we can expect some growth. Everyone's been hyping up this Jupiter and Cancer transit. It's like, well, where's my blessings? So Jupiter turning direct, it's like this planet finally has clarity on what it is going to proceed with, what it is going to grow, what it is going to nurture. And Jupiter in Cancer is very much like, what am I nurturing when, like, what am I tending to? I was working with a client this morning on, I was doing a Reiki session, like distance healing, and she was just kind of asking about like her prosperity, her career kind of stalled, and she's worried about money. And I had this like vision, and it was like, I just saw her like watering this money tree. And it was like it was an invitation for her to visualize and work with this energy of continually watering like her career and money tree. But that it was always going to provide for her, but also to keep watering it in a sense. And that's what I think partially what Jupiter in Cancer represents is this like the dream, the wish that you are continually tending to, the dream and the wish that you are putting work into. It's really it's really, I think, going to get going when Jupiter is going direct. So specifically, that would be like the part of your chart that is ruled by Cancer. So, for example, if you are Libra rising, then you would have Cancer in your 10th house of career and public reputation and professional goals. So, like Jupiter going direct may signal a time that until Jupiter goes into Leo, that like, hey, career things are expanded. Like the work that we've been putting in, maybe we get noticed a little bit. Maybe a mentor is going to step in. Might be a good time for training in some sort of career theme, or that you get a little recognition during this time, essentially. So the part of your chart where you have Cancer, this new moon is suggesting there are blessings to come, or the time is now to grow and to expand into that area and put everything you have into it, or that the work that you've been putting in starts to pay off. We kind of get a little bit of a harvest feeling. And either way, it is like, okay, let's go into the future. Time is now to go. It's like no longer on the back burner. And also because Jupiter doesn't have there's no planets that are obstructing it, that are making these sort of difficult aspects to it. It's kind of free to do its thing. It is in a whole sign square. It is in a sign-based square to Jupiter, or excuse me, to Saturn, the planet of obstruction and limitation, but degree wise, it's moved past that planet. So it's there, but it's not as big a deal. This new moon also is making an almost perfect sextile, a flowing harmonious aspect to Uranus, the planet of revolution, of authenticity, and freedom. Liberation and breaking chains is also a Jupiter thing too. So Jupiter going direct is like, okay, where are we stuck? We're like going to expand past that, or we're not going to think limited. Like we're going to think big is kind of what I'm getting with this new moon, especially when Uranus is involved, because Uranus is saying like, okay, like let's take a little bit of a chance. Let's do something a little bit unconventional. It's kind of this move towards more freedom. And it does give me a feeling of we are going to leave these repeated patterns in the past. We're not taking them with us. Like what did we learn in this eclipse season? What did we learn in Mercury retrograde in Pisces? Like And so this is sort of saying like, we're going to go in a different direction. So if you've been thinking about initiating something, starting something, going in a new direction, or simply just need a little cosmic energy of like just a little reset, this new moon, I really feel like is the key. So this new moon does start a new 2-week period because a new moon, it's not just happening on the new moon. This new moon is a new lunar cycle. So this new moon is creating we're initiating a 2-week lunar cycle until the next full moon until the full moon in Libra coming up at the beginning of the month, where we may be cleansing, resetting our space. So you might want to think about taking a fucking Epsom salt bath, releasing, toxins, or just imagining that you're releasing stuck emotional energy or stuck spiritual energy, or just kind of get the energy moving. You may want to cleanse and clear your space and sort of prime yourself for a new beginning, even though it may not be anything specific. It might just be kind of clearing up the crap, from your energy. And then also, 2 days after this new moon, we have Mercury stationing direct at 8 degrees of Pisces. And I mentioned that this 8-degree mark of Pisces is significant because that's where the North Node is. The North Node being an intensification of energies. And that has come up a lot in like the past couple videos I've done, like, that 8-degree mark is really interesting. I've seen it in client charts too. But when Mercury goes direct, it will take a couple days for that planet to finally like really come online, be functional again. So I would say actually like the couple days around March 20th, where it's kind of essentially stationary in the sky, that would actually be a time where I would maybe expect some glitches, or like to really pay attention to like communication things or travel things or analytical things. That there might be some challenges there, especially because Mercury technically is in a sign where it could struggle with the details, the logistics, things like that. So give it a couple days. It won't get to 9 degrees of Pisces until like March 24th. So I'd say like a couple days until March 24th, it's going to start to kind of get online again. And then Mercury will be in a much more improved state when by, I would say, April 17th, because it will be in the sign of Aries, which is a technical improvement for, for research, for analytical things, for these Mercury things that we need it to do. It's going to move through, it's got to get past Neptune. So I would say about mid-April, Mercury is fully back. That doesn't mean don't travel or don't do anything until that point. It's just saying like, hey, if I'm going to set up I'm going to like really look at the budget, or like really like, those things just might take a little bit longer until Mercury is back in like better condition. So just FYI. So let's talk about what all this means for your rising sign. Again, I don't have your specific chart in front of me. If you do the new moon circle next month, I will, or you'll have a chance to ask me questions about it. And by the way, that link isn't online yet. So I'll make a video about that, announcing that specifically. But this can still be some good insight for your sign, and kind of what to expect. What houses Cancer and Pisces rule for you, because we're going to be feeling those new beginnings in the Pisces part of our chart, as well as the Cancer part, and I would even say the Sagittarius part, because Sagittarius is also ruled by Jupiter. So those 3 houses are getting some refreshing kind of new beginning, let's fucking go energy. So I did want to mention too, the same day that that Mercury goes direct, the sun goes into Aries. So that's a big deal. That's the astrological new year. The sun's ingress to Aries is a major moment. It's the astrological new year. And the sun in Aries is very focused on like, let's go. We are not waiting around. Aries is a cardinal sign. It begins and initiates things. It's a fire sign. It's dynamic. It's action oriented. So we're kind of going into this emphasis on, okay, it's like we are inspired by the new moon in Pisces. We're feeling the pull of our intuition. And with the sun going into Aries, it's like, let's go, bitch. So we're really going, I think, into a action-oriented period of time. So let's go ahead and let's do these horoscopes. You can check you can simply click on your sign's horoscope uh, on YouTube or find the timestamps. Same thing if you're listening to the audio version of this, you can just click on the timestamp and it will take you to your sign's horoscope. So let's go ahead and get going. Okay, Aries rising. And let's start with you. I had to switch my camera because my phone makes me look good and then it won't share the screen unless I'm using this crappy webcam. So, we just do what we have to do. Okay, Aries, new moon, Pisces. Yes. I would say the new moon, Pisces is your whole sign 12th house. Pisces time is always going to be maybe a little bit of a liminal time where things going on in the background. This new moon feels important for mental health, spirituality, intuition, messages and dreams, that kind of thing. Or it can also symbolize a new project that you're starting or something getting going that is not visible to other people or something that is in the background or secret. It also could be, something around like long-term health, chronic health, things like that, like some sort of something maybe that you're implementing there, getting me connected to like mental health or spirituality. And then also Mercury stationing direct here. It's like maybe getting more clarity. Maybe it's like maybe we've been having dreams that make no sense but feel weirdly profound. And then when it goes direct, it's like, oh, we have some more insight on those things. So it's interesting though, as Jupiter is direct now, Jupiter is direct in your fourth house. And this is sort of like anything connected to home, family, real estate, where you're living. If you have had like a home renovation project in the back burner, if you want to move and that's been on the back burner, or some sort of home expansion, this could signal like, hey, it's time to move in that direction again, or it's time to get those things going again. If it involves some sort of expansion of family or something connected to family, this can also be a healing time for family as well. So I like that for you. And Jupiter in Cancer. Cancer is your fourth house. It's one of the angles of your chart. That is a loudly felt kind of energy. So home, family seems to be like there's something good happening there, or there's simply a stabilization happening there for you. Even if it's not outright positive, it's like, okay, but it's like not bad. Essentially, Jupiter's trying to help something with home and family or where you are living. Um, okay, let's move on. Taurus, Pisces is your 11th house. So new moon in Pisces for you. There could be you could have been like maybe reevaluating your goals. Maybe there's some stuff with friends that have come up. Maybe you've been connecting with like a friend or a group from the past that you belong to. Either way, like maybe there were some questions around those things with Mercury retrograde or something that we had to resolve or something from the past that we're connecting with. So either goals, friends from the past, colleagues, groups that we belong to or that we want to join, something like that. But Mercury turns direct here in this part of your chart around the time of the new moon. And like I would say like, something gets resolved there or we get more clarity there. And there's also some sort of new beginning connected to that too. Maybe you have a better understanding of like your goals and wishes and hopes for the future. Maybe have a better understanding of like, different like-minded groups that you might belong to or your social circle or something like that. But there's more clarity and new beginnings around those topics. Jupiter stationing direct, that it has been direct for a few days, but Jupiter stationing direct connected to this new moon also. If you want to do anything to expand your mind, anything around learning or studying, or like learning new skills like for a job or something, or just learning because you want to feel, like learning just because you want to, you might feel like a push in that direction. Jupiter direct in your third house. Third house is also connected to like there's like some locality stuff here, like not like the house that you live in, but like the neighborhood and community that you live in. There could be something expanding connected to that, or some sort of positive energy, in that direction for you. Like maybe you're going to feel more connected to the community. Maybe this simply means that you're going to travel more this isn't necessarily international travel, but this is sort of like, hey, like the neighbors and people around you, your local community, um, somehow like that's going to be a more positive influence like on your life somehow. This also could be too something connected to like siblings as well, because third house is like siblings, cousins, extended family. Maybe this comes with like good news connected to them or something like that. But because third house is also communication in the mind, like if you're writing a book, if you want to like do like start a podcast, third house is like communication in writing things. So there could be something connected to that as well. So I like that for you. All right, Gemini rising. New moon in Pisces for you, I think is going to come with some clarity of direction on your career. If you haven't known like what you're doing there for a little bit, if there's some sort of question or maybe some changes that we're just not quite sure, if there's something unclear, I think we're getting clarity around this. The new moon here is saying, hey, we are taking a step into the future. We are planting a seed. We're planting something long term. And Mercury stationing direct here means that we're getting more clarity, that there's like a green light to step into something. So it could be new career direction, refreshed career direction, maybe something new connected to a boss or an employer, or simply like you might know kind of more about your professional goals and it's kind of time to step into that. And I also feel like it's time to step into something that's going to make you some money, bitch. So it's because, Jupiter is stationing direct in your second house of resources and assets and things that support you in this physical life here. So it could be that maybe hard work is paying off. You might like, let's say that you're self-employed. This could be a time when like more commissions are rolling in, more clients are coming in. If you were employed in like a traditional job, it might be that like, hey, I'm going to get a second job or some sort of secondary source of income, or that you might be asking for a raise at this time, or there's something with compensation and money that does feel more positive. And I will say Jupiter direct too, like it may be that the new moon seeds this energy, but Jupiter is still going to be in Cancer, and also so Cancer, your second house of money until the end of June. So it's like that there's more forward momentum and direction here, and generally more of a positive growth energy connected to finances or stabilization connected to finances until the end of June of this year. So yes, we love that for you. Cancer. Hey girl, Cancer rising. New moon in Pisces. Pisces is your ninth house. It's connected to higher education. It's a house of God and spirit. It's connected to long distance travel. Could be legal things. There's number one, there's more clarity and a focus maybe on, because Mercury has been retrograde in your ninth house for a couple weeks here. So maybe we've been kind of reviewing or rethinking our belief system, spirituality, or maybe there has been something unclear connected to education, connected to travel, or any kind of mind expansion, or maybe we've just been like spending a lot of time thinking about it. Mercury getting going here, there's more clarity. So if you've been thinking about applying for some sort of higher education thing or applying for some sort of, spiritual workshop, maybe you're wanting to study astrology more, this could be the time to like, yeah, I'm going to sign up for that class. Like, I think I have enough clarity, I'm going to do it. And this new moon is saying that there is some sort of new beginning here for you. I will say, this is why it's important to study astrology and to learn about it, because your midheaven, like the highest point in your chart, may fall in your ninth house. It depends. Like some charts, like I know, like a friend of mine has a Cancer rising chart, but has his midheaven, which is connected to career, in the ninth house. So there would be sort of career themes for you, like if that were the case here. So anyway, that's a total sidebar. But yeah, so new beginnings, new perspective, new clarity connected to education, connected to travel, connected to spirituality or legal things. Jupiter going direct in your sign is like, hell yeah. Like, it's really, this could be personal. It's like, it just feels like it is time for personal growth. Or like rather that the work that you have been doing internally will start to show up in your external world, in your personal life. So, Jupiter going direct in your sign, it's like, this could be time to learn something new, to say yes to an opportunity. You could be finding yourself wanting to travel, but just generally taking on that feeling of optimism, that feeling of growth, and that feeling of like there really is some like personal green light around personal growth and expansion. And all the work that you've been doing internally, I just feel like will begin to manifest outward. Um, and so, yeah, Jupiter in Cancer. Jupiter is direct in Cancer till the end of June. So, like, I think you'll be riding this kind of wave of momentum till the end of June. So, don't expect just under this new moon that here's where all the growth happens. It's like, I think soaking up some of this positive energy or this growth oriented energy is going to be happening for you until the end of June. Leo, this new moon would be falling in your eighth house. And so there's a couple things here. One is financial. So any money or resources that you have tied up with a partner or anything connected to loans, debts, credit cards, grants, student loans, EBT food stamps, something like that. There have been issues there. This should kind of bring some sort of resolution to that as Mercury stations direct. So, or if we've been sort of like rethinking, like, hey, you pay for this, I pay for that, or like if you've been rethinking also intimate things in relationships, like how your energies kind of intersect with other people, this could bring some clarity of how you want to proceed with your most intimate of relationships. The eighth house is also mental health stuff too, I think, as well. Like, so if we've been kind of doing a little soul searching, again, this can kind of bring some sort of clarity here. The eighth house is just always such a tricky, interesting subject. But so there's a new beginning connected to finances here. If we've been kind of dealing with something financial, especially because Mars is in there too, kind of adding some stress, we're going to have more clarity in how to proceed. Or this is like the time that you're like, okay, I'm like ready to refinance. I'm like ready to apply for a mortgage. I'm, ready to maybe tie my finances to someone else, right? So something like that here. And also, I think just sort of internal spiritual renewal. Pisces being this spiritual kind of energy, and like we've had such an emphasis on this part of your chart for so long. It's like I just feel like this could be sort of a part of a spiritual energy cleanse for you. And this is the part where we're actually doing like the cleansing and kind of understanding like, oh, like I realize I take on that person's energy and I don't necessarily like realize it, but there's some kind of like leech or energy vampire or something. You'd be kind of realizing that around this new moon, especially because Jupiter is direct in your 12th house. And 12th house are like secret things or things that are not visible to you. It's your subconscious and your psyche, your mental and spiritual health. So it's that there's some kind of like internal growth, and we're really gaining insights from it now. We're really like understanding now, or that we are growing something that is kind of more in the background. Like it's like more of like what people aren't seeing. I also think that you are preparing for Jupiter in Leo, because Jupiter is going to go into your sign. And if you're not already Leo main character syndrome already, you are going to be when Jupiter goes into Leo at the end of June, beginning of July. It's going to be there for years. Personal expansion, growth, opportunities coming for you this summer. It's going to be there for a whole year. And right now you're in this kind of spiritual preparatory period. I will say one more thing too. This new moon is sextile Uranus in the 10th house of career. There could be some sort of like little career twist or a little unconventional little turn that you're doing in career that brings you more freedom connected to this new moon as well. Virgo rising. This new moon is happening in your partnership sector. So I want to mention here that this could be about your relationships. It also could be about a specific relationship in your life. Like this could be about your partner. So Mercury has been retrograde in Pisces for the past few weeks. Forget when did it go retrograde again? I don't know. I think it was at the end of February. I don't really want to look right now, to be honest. So, okay, let's just look. Let's look together, shall we? When did Mercury go retrograde? Mercury went retrograde February 25th. Oh my God, it's been that long. Jesus Christ. So Mercury has been retrograde in your partnership sector since February 25th. So perhaps there's something that we're recalibrating, that we're needing clarity on, that we're going back over our contractual agreements with our partners. That, perhaps your partner has been kind of confused in their life, or they've just needed some clarity or direction on something. Again, it could be your relationships itself, or it could be your partner, or like, the person in your life kind of standing in for this energy. So there's more clarity and more direction connected to your partnerships and relationships coming in with this new moon energy. And also, also, I've noticed too, like simply due to the fact that Pisces is opposite your ascendant of like, or is as opposite your sign of Virgo, it's just going to make this new moon more important for you personally. Like on some level, there is something connected to you personally, even though it's about relationships. I want to say breath of fresh air, reset, cleansing kind of vibe, because you've had a lot going on, Virgo rising, with this lunar eclipse that we had here. You've had a busy couple weeks. So this feels like refreshing, cleansing, healing energy coming in. I also want to say maybe even a little bit more feisty, maybe a little bit more conflict oriented with relationships, because you've had Mars in Pisces the past couple weeks in your seventh house too. So just FYI. This new moon is sextile Uranus in your ninth house also. So perhaps there's some sort of like, I don't know how to even delineate that. Perhaps there's some sort of intuitive hit or prompting from spirit or dream or something connected to like your beliefs in spirituality that kind of come into play with this new moon. I actually don't, I don't know how to delineate that right now. I'm just going to move on. But this, in general, this new moon's aspect to Uranus adds a little bit of excitement, but like just enough. It's not like, oh, my whole world's turning around. It's more like I have some fresh insight. I have like a fresh idea about something. So this new moon being ruled by Jupiter stationing direct in your 11th house, again, I kind of want to say if like partner has been going through it, if there have been issues connected to partnership for you, um, or even things connected to your home and your family, I do feel like the trend is that it's going to get better, that there's going to be more growth, opportunity, positive, and stabilizing energy, because Jupiter rules your partnership sector as well as your home and family sector, because that is ruled by Sagittarius. So Jupiter will be bringing some improvement into those areas of your life, as well until the end of June of 2026, as well as like your larger social groups and your goals and wishes and hopes for the future. Like you're I think going to have some clarity on what your goals and wishes are for the future, as well as like, hey, this could be a time that benefits and opportunities come in from friends or from like the group, like the social groups that you belong to, or that you are going to want to collaborate with those energies more. So that is your reading, Virgo rising. Congrats on making it through eclipse season. Libra rising. This new moon fall. Ooh, yay. Okay, that's good. Sorry, I don't know why I got excited about that. This new moon falls in your sixth house. So there is been some focus or a focal point connected to your health, health habits, health routines, physical body health, as well as work, your work routines, coworkers, what your daily workflow looks like, what your grind looks like, as well as pets. So if those things have been unclear, or if we've been reevaluating, we're going to have more clarity on those things. Let's say that you have been like, I need a job, but I'm not really sure where to go. Like, whoa, there's going to be more clarity and kind of forward momentum here. And there's a new beginning here. So, again, this is, I would say, focus on the cleansing, reset, healing part with this energy. If you have been taking care of your body, but not your spirit, it's a great time to do that. Like cleanse, let go, light a little incense, clear the bad energy out of your space. This is like, let's take a nice salt bath kind of vibes, and make sure you get your rest here. Because I feel like I want you to rest a little bit, because Mars is here in your sixth house. And I feel like you've probably been busy with work, we're working out a lot, or there's just more energy and fire energy, like connected to like our work, our health, pets, things like that. So I would say make sure you get your rest because Mars is going to be in this part of your chart for quite a while. But if you've been needing clarity on like a new job or you want to step in a new direction with work, you want to bring in a new exercise or health routine, good time to do that. This uh is Jupiter is stationed direct in Cancer. I mentioned actually at the beginning of the video, you are someone I could see like a mentor helping you out in your career space, shining more in your career, getting more positive attention, being able to grow and expand in your career space. This feels like a work and career kind of focused new moon for you. Or even just like where you want to go in your career, like your goals, like how you want to move forward, or just simply experiencing goodwill in your career space. So, generally, this feels like a positive kind of work and career kind of vibe for you. So Scorpio rising, new moon is happening in your fifth house. Fifth house is things involving love and sexual relationships, creativity and passion projects, as well as pregnancy and children. So, for some of you, if you've been dating someone and you're not really sure, like, what am I? Are we in a relationship? Or like, what are the rules here? Like, can I see the people or blah, blah, blah? That's come up during your Mercury retrograde story. You're going to be getting clarity on this and you're going to understand more how you want to proceed here. This is also a new beginning, or really kind of like there's like a purity of a new beginning connected to like your pleasures, your love life, like the things that your hobbies and your passions, the things that you're wanting to give birth to at this time. There could be some fresh insight or, like an inspiration connected to those things. If you are single and you are wanting to like kind of get out there more, this could be a good time to start thinking about that or kind of get your foot in the door there, especially when Venus goes into Taurus in a couple weeks. I'm going to give you the date on that now. Venus goes into Taurus the week of March 25th. Venus goes into Taurus specifically March 30th. So if you're really kind of like, I'm ready to get in a relationship, I would give it till like March 30th for that energy to really pick up. Okay, anyway, so more clarity on creativity, hobbies, passions. If you are trying to get pregnant, or if you've been kind of wondering why you're not pregnant, like you could be figuring that out or get some sort of fresh insight on that connected to this new moon as well. This new moon, again, it's ruled by a newly direct Jupiter in Cancer. You've maybe been nurturing or tending something connected to your education, to teaching people something, to your spirituality. Your ninth house is also podcasting and social media and things like that too. So maybe we have been kind of wanting to get going at that more, and also things connected to travel as well. Jupiter in the ninth house can signify all of that. So all of those areas could be opening up more positively for you. There's more action, there's more growth. It's like time to say yes to those sort of things. And ninth house is really about like ultimately like mind expansion, spiritual expansion, like travel, expansion through other cultures. It's like there's something like that going on for you for the next couple months until Jupiter leaves the month or leaves Cancer at the end of July, where it goes into your career sector. So a couple different things going on for you at the time of this new moon. Sagittarius, the new moon for you is in the fourth house. This is definitely like a home and family thing, maybe thing going on. So like fourth house is home, family, where you are living, real estate, ancestors' roots. And so if Mercury is retrograde here, so there's a lot of maybe introspection connected to home and family. Perhaps it's a very literal issue, like, oh, we need to work on the plumbing, but we can't like figure it out right now, or like whatever. It could be something very literal having to do with that, or just like, or it could also be like relationship, home, family dynamic stuff that we've been spending a lot of time kind of figuring out, or just having to sit with like not knowing the answer. This new moon here, this could be signaling time to like, hey, it's like we are wanting to move and now we finally are figuring out how to do that. Or we're going to put up our house for sale, or like it's time to expand the family, or it's just time to put some energy into the home, right? So there's just like there's a clarity and also a new beginning and a reset period connected to home. So this also might just be a good time to like clean up the home, to bring some good energy into it, to use incense and some smoke and just kind of banish some bad juju, under this energy. This is a good new moon to connect with your ancestors and do ancestor healing and veneration, or to connect with the land that you live on. I will say this new moon also, since Jupiter is direct, it's direct in your eighth house of shared finances. So if there is something real estate happening, Jupiter is going direct here. So this is going to help you with access to mortgages, for refinancing, for credit, for other people's money and resources. There could be something like that connected to this new moon, or simply just like a stabilization of your money in that area. This is also, frankly, it could be time to kind of like that you're like cleaning up credit, or that there's something beneficial around access to capital and credit here. So I do like that. There's also Jupiter in the eighth house too, can be some sort of like, can also be like, hey, it's time to do some psychic development, connect to guides and tarot and things like that. Because eighth house can be occult sort of activities. Um, or some sort of exploration of your psyche. So that's kind of what I got for you, Sagittarius rising. I do also want to mention, fuck, Jupiter is your ruling planet. I keep swearing on this podcast. That's just how it's going to go. Sorry. So Jupiter is your ruling planet. Jupiter station direct. If you've been feeling like, got some stuff on the back burner, like I want to do some stuff, but I'm not sure. I don't have the clarity. I don't have the time or resources. I feel like you're going to get the green light to begin expanding. It may be kind of in a more hidden way for you. It may be about resources and capital right now. But I think that it's almost like you're going to get your spirit back. Like if you've been feeling like a little on the back burner, like when your ruling planet goes direct, it's like there's a shift, I feel like I've been in a funk and I'm no longer in a funk, or I'm not as much in a funk. So expansion and growth for you, I think very directly, because it rules your first house of self-identity and your approach to the world. Capricorn, your new moon is happening in your third house. So, communication projects and correspondence, if they've been a little messy, if emails and texts have been like weird, or you're not communicating the best, that should start becoming resolved when Mercury goes direct here. Or if there's a communication that projects that we've been like reviewing or going back over, or like, let's say that you have like a book and you're like, I'm going to do a revised version of that. That can be a great expression of this Mercury retrograde energy. Could also be like, hey, I've been wanting to learn, like go back over something and study something, but I'm not sure how to proceed or when that beginning is going to take place. It's like that. I feel like that's going to be taking place now. So new communication projects, um, correspondence won't be as iffy. This could be talking about maybe some travel plans. This could also be about figuring stuff out with like siblings and neighbors and local community. That kind of stuff getting resolved a little bit under this new moon and Mercury retrograde kind of moving forward. I like to also say pay special attention to new moons in your third house, because there is a undercurrent of spirituality there, because the moon rejoices in the third house. The third house is the house of the goddess. So under this new moon, yes, there are those third house things that I was talking about, but also this is a good time to pull a tarot card, to connect with your guides, like to write in your journal, to be introspective, to get a lot of insight and intuitive hits under this new moon, because of that sort of goddessy connection with this new moon in Pisces. So just keep that in mind. I also want to say relationships are going to turn around for you as well. If they're going good already, great. I think they'll even be better. So Jupiter is direct in your seventh house of one-on-one relationships and partnerships and contractual agreements. So this could be really kind of a green light for you to be collaborating with someone to establish a relationship, romantic, personal, business, whatever. It's more likely that it's going to be something that is supportive of both parties. And also, like, this is just a time to kind of water your relationships and to tend to them, and like, to make sure that if they're relationships that you want to keep in your life, that there are things that are going to last, essentially. So Jupiter will be in this part of your chart until the end of June. Now, let's say that if you're single, I would think end of March, good time to start getting out there because Venus will be very powered up in the sign of Taurus. That's your fifth house of romance and creativity and passions and fun and sex. And Jupiter is in your seventh house of partnership, expanding partnerships, opportunities for you. I would think that's a good time to be getting out there. Or if you're in a relationship, like romantically, that's a good time to kind of bring some pleasure and some enhancement into that part of your life. Let's see. New moon so Aquarius rising. New moon is in your second house. I think even maybe figuring out your resources, financial resources and physical resources that support you in this life. This Mercury's been retrograde here since February 25th. Mars is here. Maybe there's some stress, or maybe there's just a feeling of like, I need to hustle, make some money. I'm trying to get my bag. So, or we're trying to figure out some sort of financial situation. So Mercury is going to go direct shortly after this new moon. I see you getting clarity. I see you moving forward. I see some new opportunity for money as well. This could be, like, hey, I'm just figuring out my finances. I'm figuring out the flow. I'm kind of cleansing things out a little bit. I'm like, getting rid of some unnecessary subscriptions, things like that. Perhaps you're getting perhaps you are getting another stream of income going here. Or perhaps we are wanting to ask for some kind of promotion or something. So something with money, there's a positive flowing energy here where you're getting more clarity and some kind of new beginning connected to that, especially connected to money, maybe from a job, because Jupiter is now direct in your sixth house of employment, people that you employ, your health routines and habits, and pets. So if we're talking money from job, I can see that happening because Jupiter is direct in this part of your chart. This part of your chart it's your work routines, it's your work grind, it's your workflow, it's people who you work with, people who work for you, your work, surroundings. It's like there's just more of it, or we're getting going. We have it's time to expand here. You could be getting a new job. This could also be health related. It could be that, hey, we are really kind of Jupiter and Cancer may help us connect with like the right healthcare providers or the right coaches, whether that's diet, exercise, health, nutrition, or help with some sort of ailment or chronic pain. Like Jupiter direct here, generally going to be positive and will help stabilize those areas for you. This can also be like, I'm getting a new cat or something, because sixth house is your animals and your furry friends and your pets. Reminder that Jupiter is direct here until the end of June. So there are plenty of times for these opportunities to arise after this new moon happens. Pisces rising, new moon in your sign. I do want to mention, hey, maybe this has been kind of a tumultuous past few weeks because Mercury has been direct in your sign. We have had Mars in your sign, as well as a lunar eclipse in your seventh house of relationships. So I feel like the energy has really been rocking you lately. Perhaps we said goodbye to a relationship or someone out of our life, or we're focused on cleaning up that area of our life a little bit, or perhaps there's just some sort of dramatic tension in your life generally as of late. And Mercury has been retrograde in your sign. You're really personally reevaluating, reviewing, and kind of just asking the universe, like, hey, like, what's up? So Mercury is going direct on the 20th, 2 days after this new moon. I just see you getting clarity, refocusing. It's sort of like, okay, now's the time that I go forward. This is, I think, a big cleansing, reset, new moon for you. Let go of the past. Do not take it with you, or let go of like the things that we want to leave in the past, leave them in the past, essentially. Because Pisces is can be such a healing energy. And I think really backed up by Jupiter going direct in Cancer, it's really like, okay, like take that nice big deep breath. I see you as pretty action oriented right now, maybe a little crabbier than usual. Mars is in your sign. That could be motivation, energy, and action, and also just simply like, hey, I'm kind of pissy lately. So that is still there. That's not going away overnight. We have a little time to go with Mars in your sign. But generally, I think a really refreshing restart, new beginnings chapter period for you. Very personally felt new moon. This new moon is also connected to Jupiter going direct. Jupiter is your ruling planet. So there is this personal feeling of like, okay, I've like spent a lot of time reality reviewing, going within. Now it's time to move forward. And Jupiter is currently expanding and bringing growth and stabilization and opportunities in your fifth house, which is romantic and sexual energy, um, creative energy, your hobbies and passions, pregnancy and children. So, and also just pleasure. Right. So if none of those apply to you, Jupiter going direct in your fifth house is saying also don't forget to have some fun. And this could be time like, hey, like I want to have a little fun. I want to meet someone. I could see you doing that under Jupiter direct. Jupiter's also going to be direct until the end of June too. So just so there's also, that as well. So it's going to maybe take a little time, but we can kind of feel that forward momentum. If we've been wanting to start a family, this could be the signal where it's like, okay, I think I'm ready. Let's make a baby, this could be about increasing creativity, giving birth to something artistically or creatively, or something about your hobbies and passions coming more into focus here. As well as like, hey, I'm ready to meet someone. Let's have some fun. Or I just want to get laid. That's also very possible too. But the fact that you are ruling planet Jupiter stationing direct is a signal to me that we're really ready to move forward out of this big eclipse portal that we're in. New starts for you. Also, Jupiter rules your career sector. Sagittarius rules career. Jupiter rules Sagittarius. That I think will also get a boost too if that's feeling like stalled or a little on the back burner as well. So, um, so thank you so much for joining me for this podcast, for this YouTube video on the new moon in Pisces. Make sure that if you're interested, you get signed up for my March 21st class. If you pass the deadline, there will be a download link on my website where you can buy it as well. I'm going to be doing a monthly video starting this April for the new moons and full moons of that month. So check that out. And you'll be hearing from me about the new moon circle. Again, happy new moon in Sagittarius, happy Mercury direct, and happy Jupiter direct as well. So see you next time.